Wendy's, it's Katie from Blueprint Games with another tutorial for you. In this lesson we're going to be talking about smoothing groups. And the reason why we're going to be doing smoothing groups first is because I want to do a whole series on Substance Painter since that's been requested a lot. And I think that smoothing groups are really important when taking a model into Substance Painter because it will actually make a lot of difference since the program is able to detect what kind of smoothing groups you have. So we're going to go over what a smoothing group is, why it's essential, and how to do it. It could be considered a beginner's tutorial, depends if you know about it. For a very, very long time I didn't know what a smoothing group was, and it's probably because I'm quite stubborn with learning new stuff with tutorials. I tend to just be one of those people who gets straight into the program, and it's not really something that came up. So I'm going to tell you about smoothing groups and how you can apply it to your model and why it's good for your model. So without any further ado, let's get started. So you can see here two different models. One has the smoothing groups applied and one does not. So as you can see, the models look really different and you can see the quality change here. So I'm going to tell you a bit about what I thought a smoothing group was to begin with. When I was first starting out in 3D modelling, I thought it was very similar to doing a turbo smooth modifier. So if I was to do something like this, and I mean it looks alright, but you're not really getting these same sharp edges which I wanted the model to have. And on top of that, turbo smooth will add a ton of polygons to your model, and you're not really seeing much of a difference. Yet if I put on the edged faces, you can see that there's a lot more polygons in here now. And considering we're making this for a game, you really don't want to have that. And it complicates things a lot more as well. So let's get rid of that turbo smooth modifier. So I thought what the smoothing groups is if I was to select all these and go down, you'll find the smoothing groups and your loadout here. And I thought, oh, I really want this to be smooth. I'm just going to put all these on, you know, and it would look smooth. And I'd be like, cool. I've made it look like turbo smooth, and I haven't added any polygons to it. But it turned out that's not how I was doing. I wasn't doing it right, because I was thinking that the more I added, and because you have all these numbers here, I thought that this meant it was more smooth if it was at 31, and I thought 1 meant not very smooth, and it was just very silly of me. So I'm going to teach you about what smoothing groups really are. So let's take the description straight from the Autodesk website. So a smoothing group is a number that is assigned to a face or a polygon on an object, and if the two faces share an edge with the same smoothing group, it will render as a smooth surface, and if they don't, then it will have a hard edge in between. So let me just show you what that means. If I go to here and I select polygon and I select some sides like so, and I'm going to make all these polygons have the same smooth group. So let's select 1. And then it renders as smooth, as you can see here. So this is quite a short tutorial, hopefully. I won't go on like I always do. I always say it's a short tutorial and then I go on for ages. But it's quite simple. So what you want to do is you want to determine where you want your hard edges to be. So for example, between here and here, I want to have a hard edge. So I'm going to make this a different smoothing group to here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select like this, just drag out and select the polygons that I want to be smooth. Ooh, control click, bring that down. And I'm going to make this all have the smoothing group of 1. Oh, and another thing you can do here is you can just click one surface polygon here and you can shift click and that will select them all as well. Okay, so we've already started to get to the same result as here. And then I can, oops, I'm just gonna do this, click and drag, make that smoothing group 2, like so. Now this can carry more than one smoothing group. You can have all of these selected if you wanted to. I haven't had to yet. I don't know when you would need all the smoothing groups, but you can, in case you were curious. So as long as you don't have, if I was, for example, to make this have a 2 smoothing group, you'd see that it would smooth these 2 together, but not these 2. So I'm just going to get rid of that. And then we can just do this all over the model. So make that 5. Make that 7. And it's just a really good way to sort of make your model look a lot better. Like so. Oop, zoom out. And the reason why I thought I'd bring this up before we go into the Substance Painter tutorial section is because when you bring this model into Substance Painter, it has a really clever way of detecting where these hard edges are, usually by using the smoothing groups. So Substance Painter, the reason why I love it so much is because it's very clever. So you can tell it to add grime, and the program will detect where the grime should go. So it will say we'd have loads of grime in the hard edges over here. So the program will add lots of grime and dirt for you in between these hard edges. But if you haven't done your smoothing groups yet, you're going to have grime all along these polygon edges, and it isn't going to look right. So make sure that you add your smoothing groups before you go into Substance Painter. So that's all for today's tutorial. What we're going to cover in the next series is all about Substance Painter, all you can do with it. It's going to be quite a few little mini episodes because there's quite a lot to cover. But I hope you enjoy the series. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and leave me a comment below. And thanks for watching.